Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to thank all of you guys across New Tech as well as TikTok, and of course everyone here on YouTube for your guys' continued support.
We start things off from Yahoo Finance. Bankrupt 23andMe's DNA test gets sale nod as concerns linger. Have any of you guys done the 23andMe to get your DNA? You guys may recall all the viral videos that were going around as people were doing this a few years back, but apparently they've gone bankrupt. So here we have from Bloomberg, bankrupt genetic testing firm 23andMe Holding Company won permission from a judge to try and sell information about customers, medical and ancestry-related data, a trove that is considered the most valuable assets in the insolvency case and has become a source of privacy and safety concerns aimed the company's collapse. That is some serious information there. Now, if you guys weren't aware, I may have mentioned it before, when I first started in law, I worked in bankruptcy, and it was quite an interesting time during that time, back in the early 2000s. But we'll take a little listen to what they're saying here.
Has. States including California and Connecticut are alerting consumers that they have a right to delete their data if they want. But isn't this company only worth as much as the data that they can sell on to a buyer?
That's a really good question, and it's something that I think we'll learn more about as the bankruptcy unfolds. The auction isn't set until May 14th. These things can often move and are often pushed back. There's still a lot of questions. That's a good question that is yet to be answered.
So when a company files for bankruptcy protection, it needs to really develop a plan to emerge from this Chapter 11 successfully. What are 23andMe's options right now?
Well, from everything that we have so far from what they've submitted in court, their plan isn't necessarily to emerge. It's merely to sell whatever assets they have, the business, to a new buyer that can, use the 23andMe brand.
The IP.
Yeah, exactly, under a new ownership.
So the new intellectual property is what they're saying. So they're just going into legalese here. But what I was going to say is that, the concern here is the data, right? The information. And we've seen that on social media as well. You might remember when we covered the Cambridge Analytica back in the mid-2000s during the election around 2016-ish, because Zuckerberg was selling information to Cambridge Analytica to analyze and gather information from users on Facebook for the election. So you have all this data, which is incredibly valuable to many different groups of individuals. Like when you use your apps on your phones, the data is all collected. When you're on the internet, data is being collected by Google and other platforms. Data and information is business, because businesses run on metrics and they're run on projections and all these things. And any kind of data they can sell, they're going to. So, of course, the concern here is that people's genetic material, genetic information is going to be sold. And I was just kind of browsing here on X a bit. You can see from the Washington Street Journal is reporting that 23andMe is filing for bankruptcy, as we just learned. So I would go and delete your DNA data right now, unless you want to see clones of you. Of course, there's some of the hyperbolic language here. And, of course, they're showing the stock market there and individuals here. Registration information like sex and date of birth, genetic data, ancestry, composition, trait information, health-related. So you have all of these predispositions, as it were. So I guess they would know like your chances for illnesses and things like that. So obviously all these things are important data for data miners and those out there trying to get that data. But some of you who are astute, who have been around the BuzWeaver channel for quite some time, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button, of course, to support the channel. You may remember we talked about this. This article here is from 2020, but this goes all the way back to 2018. I think this was the Wired original article that we talked about how the Golden State Killer was captured through a DNA testing, very similar to 23andMe. And you see Jose D'Angelo has pled guilty to a number of harming 13 people, assaulting around 50 women, and committing burglaries across California during the 70s and 80s. The so-called Golden State Killer was arrested in April 2018 after detective work was combined with DNA database and family trees to identify potential suspects, an approach known as genetic genealogy. So, of course, I changed some of the language and wording there if you guys were wondering. But, yeah, we talked about this, I think, originally on the channel when we first started back in 2018, because this is the original article, The Creepy Genetics Behind the Golden State Killer. And quite extraordinary what information can be gathered and composed from this. And so 23andMe is filing for bankruptcy. You guys have to let me know if you engaged or participated in any 23andMe or other genetics if you want to share that information. But it's quite extraordinary to think that that they're now going under, and it would, I don't know if the planning or the structuring or the management was bad or what they had done, but yeah, it was extremely popular. I'm sure many of you remember all the viral videos back in the day when all this was going around, but it's quite extraordinary to see that this is happening. But DNA has played a huge role, and the first time it was used in law was during the O.J. Simpson case. And I remember they were trying to kind of debunk it as new science, and it was unproven and untested, and we couldn't really know if we could rely on it. It's just amazing how far this DNA information and technology has come all these years later, over 30 years. But definitely let me know down in the comments if you participated in 33andMe or did any of this DNA testing to research your genealogy and so forth. And yeah, just keeping it light again here on Friday. And that's, of course, what I had for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to include Amazon. If you guys are ordering frequently from Amazon or are a Prime member, you guys can use my landing page link. It helps out the channel. And, of course, if you're interested in a VPN, a virtual private network, I have that available, too, as Trust Zone. It needs to help out the channel, but most of all, of course, your likes, your shares, and your comments are incredibly important. That's across New Tech as well as everyone here on YouTube. So thank you guys for all of your continued support. And appearing there on the screen would be the channel icon for all of you watching on YouTube. You guys can click on that to subscribe as well as to select notifications. And I'll see all you guys behind the Galaxy phone camera next week.